I've seen someone arriving on the scene like that, Bojan Krekic. I invite you to go and check.
The world couldn't handle a second Lionel Messi, so they killed him. In 2007, a 17-year-old kid stepped onto the biggest stage in club football and did something even Lionel Messi never did at that age. He broke his youth team scoring records, he was faster to the first team, he was on paper ahead of schedule. His name was Bojan Krkic, and this is the story of how football built a second Messi and then quietly destroyed him. The prodigy.
Dani Alves, pilota de Xavi, Alves per Messi, vinga, som-hi, la demana Bojan, Bojan, gol!
Barcelona's La Masia Academy has produced a lot of talent, but nothing prepared the club for Bojan. By the time he was a teenager, he was tearing through youth football. He scored well over 900 goals across his youth career, numbers that at the time put him ahead of the pace Messi himself had set just a few years earlier. Coaches compared his instincts in front of goal to Messi's. Journalists ran comparisons in headlines. Fans started calling him the next Messi before he even played a single senior minute.
You know, Bojan is the only player that almost killed me with a heart attack.
At 17 years and 53 days old, Bojan made his first team debut for Barcelona, younger than Messi had been at his own debut. A few months later, he scored on his league debut too. He wasn't just hyped, he was delivering. The weight of a name. Now, here's the problem. Messi wasn't a retired legend Bojan was being measured against. Messi was standing right next to him, in the same dressing room, wearing the same shirt, actively becoming the greatest player of all time in real time. Imagine being 17 and told by an entire country that you are the heir to a throne that has not even been vacated yet. Every touch was compared. Every miss was a headline. Every good game reignited the hype. Every quiet one became proof he wasn't the real deal. And unlike Messi, who had years of relative anonymity to develop away from suffocating pressure, Bojan had almost none of that. The label arrived before the player did. The cracks. For a while, it looked fine from the outside. Bojan kept playing, kept scoring, won trophies with Barcelona's golden generation, but behind the numbers, something was wearing him down. Injuries started piling up. His playing time became inconsistent. He moved on loan, then permanently, bouncing across clubs like Roma, AC Milan, Ajax, Stoke City, Mainz, searching for a version of football where he could just be Bojan, not the next Messi. Years later, Bojan opened up publicly about what he'd actually been going through during that period. He was going through severe anxiety, depression, and conditions he's hidden while performing on the pitch. He described panic attacks so intense he sometimes couldn't leave his room, let alone play. The kid who broke Messi's youth records was privately struggling just to get out of bed. What killed him? Nobody injured Bojan on purpose. No single villain ended his career. That's what makes the story so uncomfortable. It wasn't malice, it was the machine. It was a media culture that needed a next one. The moment the current one arrived, it was a fan base that wanted a guarantee instead of a teenager learning in real time. It was a football economy that monetized comparison before it protected mental health.
Que no le gustaba nada ser conocido, que la gente le pide autógrafos, fotos para.
Bojan wasn't destroyed by a lack of talent. He was one of the most gifted forwards of his generation. He was worn down by a narrative he never asked for, one that turned every match into a referendum on whether he deserved to exist in the same sentence as Messi. Maybe it's about how football needs to stop manufacturing the next anyone before the pressure does to someone else what it did to him.